I am Corey Johnson, sitting here on Towleroad TV, and I'm with Jared Polis, who made history last week. It was last week, wasn't it, Jared? It was
last week.
Last week, winning the Democratic primary in the 2nd Congressional District here in the state of Colorado. Jared, how does it feel? Does it feel real yet?
You know, Corey, it's been a long year and a half of campaigning. This has been like a 15-month campaign, and I've just been so excited that this election cycle has really been a lot of firsts, both in the country and our district. I mean, I think the country's demonstrated that we're ready to elect a woman president, we're ready to elect an African-American president, and right here in our congressional district, sexual orientation was really not a barrier to my victory. And, you know, this is a district with not a single gay bar in the whole district. So, I mean, this is not one of the gay mecca districts that you might expect an LGBT member to be elected from. It's a mainstream suburban district. We have, blue-collar areas, we have a college town, we have tourist areas and ski resorts, and people elected somebody to focus on the issues they care about, ending the war, preserving the environment, getting our economy going again, and I'm really looking forward to winning in November as the Democratic nominee.
Barney Frank, of course, is a trailblazer, came out after he was elected, and he was in Washington, D.C. Tammy Baldwin, of course, who supported you and endorsed you early on in your race, was elected openly lesbian, first openly gay person in general to win. Now you've become the first openly gay man to win a Democratic primary, looking like you're going to win the general election, so it's historic. And as you said, the district is very diverse. Throughout the campaign at all, did you feel like at any point your sexual orientation was an issue in the campaign?
Very rarely. I mean, might have cost a few votes, but I mean, very few times. It's a hard issue to use, overtly. It's like, don't vote for so-and-so because they're gay. There's covert ways to use it. Like at one point they said, why didn't you serve in the military? That type of thing. Getting don't ask, don't tell. Like, can't serve.
You served in ROTC, right?
I did. I was in ROTC, but I didn't serve in the I did college ROTC, which I enjoyed a lot. But the question was, why didn't you then serve?
Yes,
and one of the reasons was that I was gay. A couple other people who just didn't feel comfortable voting for a gay candidate, but I talked to them, and I think it was a learning process for many of my constituents as well. I mean, there's many constituents in my district who think they've never met an openly gay person, and as we know, personally knowing somebody who's gay makes a huge difference in people's perceptions and their tolerance of people who are LGBT. So hopefully it was a learning process for many of my constituents as well.
So it was a three-way contest, and you won by 4 percentage points. So it was 42-38 against Joan. Joan Fitzgerald, who was the state senate president here in Colorado, very progressive elected official, has done great work across sort of the spectrum, did good work on gay civil rights actually in the state. Was it difficult to, or not difficult, how did you handle running against someone who actually had a pretty tremendous record on LGBT issues? Did it come up at all? Did she say, vote for me because of my record, don't vote for someone because of their sexual orientation? Was that said in any way whatsoever?
Well, we don't have a large, as I said, we're not a gay mecca. We don't have a large LGBT population in our district. It could be 3, 4, 5%, something like that. And I think I had the support of nearly all the LGBT people in the district. There's a lot of excitement. I mean, for the first time in their lives, they're able to cast their ballot for somebody who's gay. Certainly all three candidates in the race are very progressive and, pro-equality, and the district wouldn't elect anybody else because the district is pro-equality. When we had Referendum I, our civil unions initiative on the ballot, while it failed in Colorado, it passed in this district with over 60% of the vote. So, I mean, this district would not have looked kindly on any candidate who, wasn't pro-equality.
And there was a bit of a hubbub before the actual election, the primary day itself. During the campaign, Tim Gill, who is a large donor across the country, people know him very well, and a few other donors here, actually supported Joan. And now you've made history. You've done something amazing. What happened there? Why did they? Was it because Joan had done work in the state legislature? That's why they decided to support her in the primary. Do you know?
That was one of the biggest surprises. I mean, I really have no idea why people that I had worked with on civil rights and equal rights for gays and lesbians, and Tim and I have done a lot together, helped transform the state from red to blue, and
took the legislature back.
Took the legislature back. I was one of the major donors to Referendum I, but I really have no idea why he wasn't with me in this one. I think it's really surprised a lot of people nationally too. But I hope that our gay donors have more loyalty for people who are good supporters of our causes in the future.
Fantastic. And now that you're, let's not presume, but it looks very good for you in November against your Republican challenger. moving into when you assume Congress, let's say that's going to happen, the Employment and Discrimination Act. Last year there was a big issue over the course to take. Barney Frank and the Human Rights Campaign had one trajectory they were on. Tammy Baldwin kind of disagreed a little bit on whether or not they should move forward and vote on gender identity and expression be included. You came out very strongly with the United Enda Coalition saying that it should definitely be included in Enda. How are you thinking you're going to move forward on Enda when you get to Congress? Tammy's in one place, Barney and HRC in another. How do you reconcile that? Where do you move with that?
Well, I really don't think we should be discussing a non-inclusive Enda. I think that the inclusion of gender identity is critical, and that's certainly what I'll fight for in Congress.
And besides LGBT issues, which we hope we're going to expand the lead in the House and gain seats in the Senate seat here in Colorado, Mark Udall, whose seat you're going to be assuming, hopefully he's our next senator here in Colorado. What other issues are of great importance to you? You were on the school board, you were chairman of the school board here, the Board of Education here in the state of Colorado. You've done a lot of work with schools, starting schools, doing a lot with schools. Do you want to be on the Education Committee? What issues do you really want to focus on when you get to Congress?
Well, certainly, I ran on ending the war in Iraq, and I'm one of the signers of the Responsible Plan. We'll be having an event here tomorrow to help out some of the other candidates who've endorsed the Responsible Plan to end the war. Education's been a lot of my background. No Child Left Behind will expire in 2009. We'll have the opportunity to create a new framework for federal education policy, and of course getting the economy going. Healthcare and ending our reliance on fossil fuels. So it's a pretty big agenda, Corey. We really need to make sure we elect Barack Obama president. If we don't, we really won't be able to get to work on very many of these items at all.
Do you think we're going to win here in Colorado? Do you think Obama's going to win in Colorado?
I think Mark Udall has an excellent chance. You mentioned our Senate race. It's one of the highest profile Senate races in the country. He's been endorsed by HRC. He's a great candidate. For president, Obama's running a very close race here. They've opened up field offices across the district. We've moved over a lot of our field operation to the coordinated campaign, and Obama just needs to show that he has practical solutions, pragmatic solutions for the concerns that Colorado voters have. And if he can do that, he'll edge out McCain in November.
And lastly, I just want to ask you, if you had to give advice for other candidates running at a federal level, or even the state legislative level, openly gay candidates, is there now a blueprint to use in running? I guess it depends where in the country you are to run as an openly gay person. In Colorado, in your district, you said it's not a huge gay population. Tammy's district is Madison, which is pretty a liberal oasis in Wisconsin. You have Boulder, which is sort of liberal anchor here in the state. Do you have any advice for candidates running? And do you think that the self-funding money you were able to put in to support your own campaign, that sort of made a big difference and sort of took away some of the issues that could have been there if you weren't independently wealthy and weren't self-funding, but were just a gay candidate that were opting into the system like anyone else?
Well, one of the things that I hope the LGBT community, learns is they shouldn't oppose a candidate just because they're gay. I mean, my biggest opponents were the out-of-district LGBT community, who raised a fortune, for my opponents, and actually funded negative ads against me that were misleading.
Really?
And so really, the only reason I had to self-fund is because we were under attack by the out-of-district LGBT community. Again, the LGBT community in my district was very supportive, encouraged me to run. It was historic. I mean, lesbians and gays across my district were a good number of our volunteers for our campaign. But
do you know why that happened? Do you know why that happened?
I have no idea.
Speak to these individuals?
No, I have absolutely no idea. They wouldn't really even talk to me over the campaign. And these are the same people that I worked with to help put, for instance, Joan Fitzgerald in power.
Senate president.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, and to pass an equality agenda here in Colorado. But, it's just, I hope that people learn these lessons from politics. And I think our community should not oppose candidates just because they're gay, because we won't elect openly gay candidates if we keep doing that.
But their line is that we shouldn't just support candidates because they're gay.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course not. I think if I wasn't gay, they would have supported me. There's no doubt about that. I mean, nobody had done more for the LGBT community than what I had done with Tim Gill and others.
Yes.
So, I mean, if I was straight, there's no doubt in my mind that the LGBT community would have supported me more from outside the district. It's water under the bridge. We won. We would have won by 10 or 12 points if it wasn't for those attacks that were funded by our own community outside the district, but we won by 4 points, a good margin. And hopefully, as I said, hopefully our community will learn from this and not make those same kind of mistakes in the future. Thank you, Corey. It's great to see you, and I'll look forward to keeping in touch and doing some great things.
Corey Johnson, Towleroad TV. We'll be with you all week, and it is so great to be here with Jared Polis from the 2nd Congressional District here in the great state of Colorado. Thank you.